This year, the U.S. has admitted the lowest number of refugees ever. Some of the tens of thousands waiting are people who were made a promise from the U.S. military, put their lives on the line to help our troops, and they'd get help to seek safety in the U.S. But that promise has largely been broken.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you.
See you. Let me put the lights on.
His face is blurred and his voice altered because he's worried people who want to kill him will track him down.
I don't drive my car on the same road twice a day. I use different roads. I always look in my review mirrors. I'm careful when I leave, who take with me, and who to let know where I'm going.
He asked to go by Wolf, his nickname in the early 2000s when he worked for the U.S. military in Iraq.
An interpreter is the backbone of the operations.
The U.S. made him a promise, a path to live in America. It's a promise his life still depends on.
They consider us as traitors. My first threat, they came to my family's house. They told him, we know where he actually works, and we will shoot him on spot if he doesn't quit.
Because of their work for the U.S., local militias are still targeting Iraqi interpreters like Wolf.
Their wait time is not months or years. If you're an Iraqi who applies to this program today, your wait time is really in centuries.
Iraqi translators are given special treatment within the U.S. Refugee Program. Last year, the administration even went a step further, setting aside 4,000 spots specifically for people like Wolf. But of those 4,000, Newsy found just 123 have been filled. And tens of thousands of translators and their families are still waiting.
Across Congress, across the administration, across the Pentagon, everybody says they support this program, but there's been a real failure to translate that ostensible support into action.
It's part of a broader trend under President Trump.
He's promised to flood your state with refugees.
The U.S. admitted just over 10,000 refugees in the past year, the lowest number since the Refugee Act of 1980. The State Department tells Newsy this program is a vital lifeline for the world's most vulnerable refugees who have no other alternative. But the pandemic continues to pose significant logistical challenges to international travel, and the same challenges have halted overseas refugee interviews. But the trend predates the pandemic. The Trump administration has cut the refugee cap every year.
Admissions start declining in the U.S., they start declining in other countries too. So it really sets in motion this kind of domino effect that leads to a real stagnation of people in desperately dangerous situations.
Wolf has already seen the consequences.
They got all the way into bothering my little brother. They didn't even waste a bullet. They ran him over with a car. He stood 6 days in a hospital in a coma and internal bleeding in his head, and then couldn't survive. It's devastating.
Wolf knows his path to safety in the U.S. is uncertain. Reuters reports the Trump administration is considering postponing all refugee admissions this coming year.
Don't be sorry for me. Be sorry for everyone, actually, who went through the same pattern of suffering these years. I cannot sleep without a gun nearby my head or under the pillow. Until now. Now I have kids. I have a wife.
The administration hasn't yet consulted with Congress on future plans, but the final decision will be President Trump's.
We did what we were supposed to do. We made the right choices. We paid our dues. We lost loved ones that they will not come back. I think we deserve a chance.
Advocates say no matter which candidate wins in November, the refugee program will take time to rebuild. Things like processing applications, resettlement services, the entire infrastructure of the program. And they worry this next year's admissions could set even another record low, leaving people like Wolf with nothing to do but wait. Austin Landis, Newsy, Washington.